from this area.
Has a 4-digit
DCI.
DCI.
Oh
my
been playing forever.
Baller.
This guy is awesome. Hasn't played Storm, but contacted Ari Lax last night and was like, Ari, I want to play Sweet Deck tomorrow. Send me your Storm list and a primer. So he got it, and he's 3-0 currently.
Nice.
And GCB is an awesome technical player. He won a PTQ for the last Pro Tour, the one in Japan, and now he's back here. I believe he's qualified for the next Pro Tour, and in Oregon, was in the area, thought he went to battle. So we have Storm on one hand. What's on the other hand?
It looks like we have. He's got his lands where his creatures are, and his creatures where his lands are. But it looks like a blue-red control deck. His name is Jesse Hampton. He has a 10-digit DCI number, so blue-red deck, Brainstorm, Force of Will. He has Stifles and Trinket Mages, and if you see those two cards in the same deck, you know what is coming.
Phyrexian Dreadnought.
Absolutely.
Reminds me of AJ Soccer's blue-red Phyrexian Dreadnought deck he played a couple months ago. Something like
that very, very similar deck. He's even got all the way down to like the Basilisk color.
Wow.
He might have literally gone through the Star City archives and be like, what can I find? And he found AJ's deck. Vendilion Click, Trinket Mage, Grim Lavamancer, a metric ton of counter spells. My favorite card, Fire Ice.
Fire Ice is a sweet card.
Yeah.
And there's players yourself. So Gabe, Carleton, Barnes on your right, the Stoic GCB, and playing the Storm combo deck on your left, Jesse Hampton. And Jesse's another local guy. He's been really successful. Made top 16 of GP Dallas and is headed to the next couple Pro Tours. So should be a pretty good match between two great players. Who do you think has the edge? You play a lot of Legacy, Adam. Who do you think has the edge between a deck like Jesse's blue-red Dreadnought deck or Gabe's Storm deck?
So you're asking me which? I would say that the Storm deck is disadvantaged against the deck with all counter spells, and
including 4 Stifles.
Yeah, Jesse has. Well, Stifle's not really a big issue. Like Stifle, the best card it gets is actually a fetch land. If you wait to get the Tendrils, it's going to get discarded from your hand.
Right.
Like they're gonna add nauseam. Like every once in a while it gets like an ill-gotten gains. The Storm deck has 2 ways to win: either ad nauseam or ill-gotten gains. It need for its to jack up its Storm count. In this matchup, it's almost always ad nauseam because ill-gotten gains will retrieve Jesse some counter spells.
Right. Can't let that happen. So it looks like the players grabbing their opening hands. GCB. Still in the tank.
Yeah.
All right, he's content.
It looks like Gabe's on the play. Also, I saw Jesse play earlier against Cedric Phillips. I defeated him and played fairly well.
Yeah.
I was impressed by his play. I don't know very many people from the Seattle area.
Yeah, just
but I played against. How many rounds did I play between? I played like 11 rounds. 11 people from the state of Washington.
Oh man.
So and many good players like.
Broadening your horizons.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've had to fight Jesse in a fair number of PTQs. I beat him out for a slot to San Juan last year. And,
good for you.
But now he's, like I said, qualified through a Dallas, played Cobblade like everybody else. And, won a qualification. So it looks like Jesse's taking them all again, and that'll definitely help GCB out.
Number of counter spells is we got, if you're talking about what Gabe needs to beat, the active cards in Jesse's deck are 4 Force of Will, 4 Missteps, 2 Spell Snare, and 1 Daze. Spell Snare doesn't counter a lot of cards, but it counters the most important card, which is Infernal Tutor.
Right.
Gabe has 2 Grim Tutors so that he can conceivably find a line of play that beats a Spell Snare if he finds it. If he knows about Jesse's Spell Snare, Gabe can use Grim Tutor to kill, to find the ad nauseam or whatever. But for the most part, whenever I played the Storm deck, Spell Snare was a very live card against me. And Daze is occasionally live.
Have you played a lot of the Storm?
Not a ton. I had a phase where I wanted to play like every deck once in Legacy. And I actually played Storm multiple times because I liked it that much. It's a fun deck to play.
So it looks like GCB leads off with a fetch land into Underground Sea, followed by Preordain, and starting to sculpt that hand that the Storm deck so greatly covets.
Right. The thing that works in Gabe's favor is that he's actually going to have a lot of time to sculpt maybe 8 perfect cards. Unfortunately for him, he doesn't have like a top to help him do that, but like he has time. Vendilion Click, didn't mention that when we're talking about Jesse's live cards, but that's a very, very live card.
Yeah, for sure. A threat plus disruption is very strong. And so GCB leaves them both on top. Grab is one. Jesse has a top on the first turn.
Yeah, he has one top to go with his Trinket Mage, which I approve of. Trinket Mage is a very, very good card.
Yeah, it's one of your favorites. You've done very well in Star City Opens with the counterbalance Trinket Mage deck for a while. Now Mental Misstep changes things.
Yeah, Mental Misstep I actually sold my counterbalances this weekend. Just done with them.
Sold your counterbalances. The end.
The end. Yep.
Can't be tricked anymore.
Nope.
So,
well, it looks like Gabe's got like, at least a Scalding time, a Duress. The thing about Duress is Jesse should misstep any Duress or things, but it looks like he doesn't have it. So it looks like we see.
It looks like Snare, Click, Click, Stifle, Misty Rainforest.
Quality hand is probably going to take the spell snare, as we say. Like, the thing is, like, once he sees Stifle, he's probably just going to crack his fetch right now.
Unless he wants to keep the other card from... No, he drew his other card for preordained. So yeah, you're right. Just crack the fetch right now. And Yeah, you take the spell snare, play around Stifle, make sure.
I don't know if these players know each other, but Jesse, I can't imagine Jesse not being good enough to know that you just stifle the fetch lands. So I actually think this is a misplay on Gabe's part, not cracking the fetch, because...
Yeah, I would just crack that fetch right now.
Yeah.
Because, once again, you can't wait for the storm. Like, you're never going to make that happen.
Also, like, not to go AJ soccer on you guys, but I think Jesse casts his Brainstorm a little too early. Maybe you do it at the end of the turn, but you don't want to... Like, he has a fetch line. He has his plays for the turn. I'm fine with doing it at the end step or in response to another discard spell.
Yeah.
To save. Or even his hand was pretty well protected. I might have just like, because if he draws a force off the Brainstorm with the and then Gabe duresses him again, he loses the force.
Yeah, I think AJ Soccer had a great AJTV and a great article on
Brainstorm.
Correctly.
I mean, the same thing with Standstill. Like, unfortunately, fortunately this time, people aren't going to stop playing Brainstorm.
It's true, and Brainstorm's.
But it is a very thing. Like, I kind of disagree somewhat with AJ on principle. I think he holds his a little too long. A lot of times, I like to keep my velocity going and keep playing cards, basically.
Looks like Jesse passes the turn. So just like you said, he plays fetch line, passes. It could have maybe waited another turn or end.
Yeah, it doesn't look like. So this should probably get stifled, unless of course Jesse felt like the conditional Stone Rain wasn't worth keeping the Stifle. The Stifle might be on top of his deck.
It seems like that's probably where Stifle is right now.
Yeah, that's it.
Nope. Still
just
in his
kidding.
hand.
We don't know. I saw a Fire and Ice, so I assume that's one of the cards back on top. Fire Ice has the function of pitching the Force of Will and cycling.
Interesting to note, like I said earlier, Gabe hasn't played a ton of the Storm deck, so you see he's being very careful about all of his plays. He knows one small mistake in Storm can be the end, so you want to be very meticulous in all your moves.
I see a Lion's Eye Diamond. Is that a Cabal Ritual?
Yep,
Island.
Cabal Ritual.
I didn't know like the exact contents of Gabe's hand, and that's always very important.
Yeah.
You see, like, he also knows that if he waits any longer, he's going to have to fight against those Vendilion Clicks that are very likely to come down.
Yeah. I'm really surprised we didn't see that Stifle on the fetch land right there.
Yeah.
Both that Gabe waited to crack it and that Jesse didn't stifle it.
Yeah. The reason he might not, and this is actually a legitimate reason, if Jesse drew his other Spell Snare, then you want to keep the mana up. But other than that, I don't see a reason to keep.
Yeah.
Because you can't, just so you guys at home know, you can't stifle Lion's Eye Diamond.
Right, because it's a mana ability.
It's a mana ability. The discard is a cost. So no part of Stifle does not interact with Lion's Eye Diamond at all. So really the only cards that Stifle interacts with in Gabe's deck are Fetch Lands and the Tendrils of Agony. But however, like I said earlier, once Gabe ad nauseams he's gonna have a bunch of discard spells to be able to clear the path of Stifle.
Right. And Gabe,
looks like Gabe's going for it.
Yeah, he's going for it. I think he's just taking his time to think through his play, and now
he's just like you said, Vendilion Clique's a very big threat on the next turn. Like,
so starts off with a Cabal Ritual.
Oh,
that's
baby.
so insane. So if you're just listening to this, Gabe has little black like tokens, like chips he's using to represent his mana.
Yeah,
pool. That's really
like
cool.
board gaming chips.
Yeah,
basically.
We should all have these. I'm pretty sure.
I know. Oh, the other. Just thought about this line of play. Jesse might have the reason not to Stifle. He might be cracking his fetch, digging for Force of Will with top.
That's a reasonable choice too.
I could definitely see that.
Yeah, if he thought Jesse was or if he thought Gabe was gonna go off, that's fair. And Gabe would probably still go off even if he got stifled. All right, Cabal Ritual it up. Takes away 2 tokens, adds in 3 more tokens.
Wow, that is cool.
That is really cool. Yeah, I hope combo players at home are taking note of GCB's really new tokens.
Strong players in particular.
Yeah.
You know, you don't need this stuff when you're like hive mind.
All right, Lion's Eye Diamond. Probably do something sweet if you're playing Elf combo, right?
Yeah. Like the storm, like the multiple spell combo, multiple like mana combo decks.
Right. So down comes Lion's Eye Diamond for GCB. And
yeah,
looks like he's gonna.
He might be trying to play around like a potential misstep as well, like maybe as a Dark Ritual.
I think,
for example, if he has, he should crack it here, and he might be discarding. Might be discarding a Dark Ritual, although he has a mana to cast Dark Ritual.
All right, so he's going to play Infernal Tutor and then Cabal Ritual in response to Infernal Tutor, and then sacrifice his Lion's Eye Diamond.
Oh, that gives him wow. That's a pretty quality play.
That gives him
threshold once the Cabal Ritual resolves.
Oh, really nice. Because the way that works is Infernal Tutor is a sorcery, so you have to start with that one, put everything else on top of it.
Yeah.
So it's getting 3 mana from the Lion's Eye Diamond, and counting up, that should be 7.
Yeah, I can't imagine you doing that if it's not 7.
Exactly 7.
Yeah, it's 7.
And now it's time for Jesse to make a move. Time to spin that top.
Yeah.
And if he finds force for the Infernal Tutor, the game's probably over, right?
Yeah.
But if he doesn't, then Gabe's going to win.
I saw a card in Jesse's hand. What Jesse should actually do is raw dog the top.
Really?
Oh no, that won't work. Never mind. I thought you could see 4 cards. I'm stupid. I've never had any experience playing Sensei's Top or Brainstorm.
Says, of course, from the Trinket Mage.
Yeah.
Sensei's Top counterbalance, man.
Yeah.
All right. So
if he had unknowns on top of his deck, it would have been correct to shuffle with it. But he knew the cards on top of his deck. Otherwise, he could go like spin, draw with top, shuffle top away, then Brainstorm. Because he's drawing to Force of Will.
Right, like that's his only out at this point, right? Unless he feels like blind flipping top for Spell Snare, which doesn't make any sense at all.
That might be actually correct.
I mean, finding force. He has 1 Spell Snare and 4 forces. Finding force has got to be better, right?
Yeah.
All right, so he's going to activate top.
So like if you activate top, then Brainstorm, you still see the same 3 cards.
All right. Is there a force there? I don't see any cards quickly moving to the top of his library.
No. Yeah. You might keep a misstep on top.
All right. Puts him back.
I could 100% see a misstep on top, and that's like if Gabe has to like start with Dark Ritual, I could. Unlikely, but.
All right. So Cabal Ritual resolves, getting him 5 mana, and now Infernal Tutor will resolve. Oh, I get it. So we just cut up basic lands. That's what those are. Cut out the little picture. So anybody can do this. If you're at home, just like grab a stack of basic lands. Don't steal them from your store. That's bad. But otherwise, just grab a stack of basic lands, cut them up. That's really neat. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Good innovation by GCB. Innovative man. Artsy guy.
So Infernal Tutor resolves. He's held back, and looks like we've got 8 mana.
Yep.
9 if we tap the Underground Sea.
Right.
So
just ad nauseum.
Ad nauseum's gonna resolve with 4 floating.
And 18 life to play with, which should be
3
plenty.
floating, yeah. In this case, I actually in my experience, I'd actually have cracked the Lion's Eye Diamond for blue mana, and leave myself like maybe 2 blue and a black, and then the Underground Sea option.
I think I would have also done that because you can hit like Ponders and prearrange.
Yeah,
really
like right.
I played Storm for a little while, and you have these problems where you like cast ad nauseum and just have no blue mana or 1 blue mana afterward. You want to do it twice. So.
If things go wrong.
Yeah. I mean, ideally you just hit like Lotus Petal, like Fertile Tutor or whatever, but
Lion's Eye Diamond. You guys hit another Lion's Eye Diamond.
Right.
Because you're not getting Hellbent naturally after ad nauseum.
Oh, don't, Gabe, don't do it.
No, it might be good. What's in his yard? What's in Jesse's yard?
He's got a Spell Snare.
Not a mana, though.
Oh, no mana, that's true.
He's, he leveled us on this one.
Fair enough. So, yeah.
That's very clever.
So what's going to happen is Gabe's going to cast Ill-Gotten Gains. If you don't know what that does, it says everybody discards their hand, gets 3 cards from their graveyard back into their hand, then you exile Ill-Gotten Gains. So he's going to cast it, get back Infernal Tutor, Cabal Ritual probably.
Likely.
And then Jesse will get back probably like Spell Snare, irrelevant cards.
Ken Griffey Jr. rookie card.
Yeah, Ken Griffey Jr. rookie card. Exactly.
Lion's Eye Diamond's fine to get back here too.
So you get back LED.
As long as you don't get a 1-drop.
So you get back LED, Cabal Ritual, Infernal Tutor, then he's going to do the same kind of thing where he goes Cabal Ritual, or actually make sure he has Threshold, and he'll go do the same thing where he goes Infernal Tutor, crack LED, or play Cabal Ritual, crack LED in response, go up to the Threshold, it'll resolve, he'll go find, I think that should be Lethal Tendrils, right?
Oh yeah, easily. I mean, he's probably on like 7, 8, like he's got well over.
Yeah. So by Jesse tapping his land, that meant that Stifle is no longer an option.
He's trying to see if he can duress him at first. But I don't think we need to. There's no reason to.
I don't think there's a reason to. On the flip side, I don't know if it matters. Like, there's no reason not to.
Yeah.
But you know all the cards that are in his hand, and you know there's nothing that's going to interact with you.
Yeah, we know nothing scary on top of the deck.
All right, so Gabe goes for those 3. All right, starts with the rest. Sees those 3. Sees the coast is doubly clear. Didn't sneak any in there. All right, Lion's Eye Diamond. Cast Infernal Tutor. Respond by activating Lion's Eye Diamond. And it's Tendrils time. Storm count is easily at 10.
Yeah.
I think actually, is that 9, I think?
That might be Exactsies.
I'm pretty sure it's exact. I think that's a 9 on that dice.
We went Ritual, LED.
It's 3.
Cabal Ritual, LED. Oh, a 3rd Cabal Ritual. So 4. Then first tutor is 5. Ill-Gotten Gains 6. Yeah, so it's Exactsies.
Yep, exactly 20. And that's that. Jesse Hampton scoops up his cards.
Yeah.
Meticulous play by Gabe Carleton Barnes takes it down.
Yeah.
So 1-0. So now things get a little more interesting. Sideboarding happens. Let's first look at Jesse Hampton. What's he going to be bringing in?
Jesse's got active cards are primarily. He doesn't have much of a Storm sideboard. Very few players do. He has 4 Red Elemental Blasts if he wants to go after the cantrips. And he has 2 Tormod's Crypts and 1 Relic of Progenitus if he wants to go after the Ill-Gotten Gains portion of the combo. And 2 Pithing Needle if he wants to mine some fetch lands.
so realistically, he's got 4 Red Elemental Blasts.
Yeah, realistically. In terms of like dead cards or like bad cards, the Basilisk Collar is terrible, the Explosives is terrible. The Fire Ices are not very good.
Stifle is also not that exciting.
Yeah, Stifle is terrible. Yeah. In fact, like Stifle's only slightly better. Well, Grim Lavamancer at least provides a very mediocre clock.
Right.
I think you keep in Stifles just because you want a blue spell count.
Oh, for Force of Will, sure.
Right.
And you can hit their fetch lands, which could be important too.
Yeah. Like especially on the play, like. You just get a turn 1 fetch land or whatever, and you also need the Stifles to Dreadnought.
Oh, right.
So yeah, you're clearly keeping in the Stifles.
11, like Dreadnought is actually pretty big in this matchup because not only does it like kill them in 2 hits, but hitting them once means ad nauseum gets way worse.
Absolutely.
So Red Elemental Blast is something that'll go there. And speaking of, you talked about countering the cantrips with the Red Elemental Blast. How do you feel about that strategy in general? Some people swear by countering cantrips. Some people are like, no, you just try and attack them when they go off. What's your theory there?
There's it's tough. It's tough. Like, it depends. It absolutely depends on what kind of deck you are, and it depends on what kind of game you're playing.
Right.
Like, in a short game, the countering the cantrips absolutely worthwhile. Like, I feel that Jesse should side in the 4 RAB and take out like the explosives, the collar, and
Fire
2 of
ice.
the fire ice. And the remaining fire ice is better than like one of the stupid cards like Crypto Needle.
Relic. Okay, so then how about Jesse? So on Jesse's side, Thoughtseize probably coming in.
On Gabe's side.
Oh, sorry, Gabe's side. So Thoughtseize coming in for sure.
Yeah, he has 2 Thoughtseize main, 2 Thougeize sideboard, and so I can't imagine all 4 will be in. So I'll have 8 things. He also has Dark Confidant, which may or may not come in depending on how he feels. He has a second Ad Nauseam, so that means he clearly knows. He probably got the primer from Arilax, and Eric probably told him against the blue decks you need to side out your ill-gotten gains and side in the Ad Nauseam. So that's definitely coming in. In terms of other cards that might get cut, we pretty much only have like, I don't think, if I were Gabe, I would not bring in the Confidants. You see the red mana, like, unless you think he's some sort of natural order deck, which you might, like, Gabe doesn't have the benefit of having the list, but like, if he knows, he didn't see a Fire Ice, didn't see a Lava Mantra, didn't see that Jesse's actually red. So
yeah, you're right.
So Confidant might be in.
Yeah.
Alternatively, you have to think that nobody's gonna have enough Storm Hate to side out the Lightning Bolts.
Fair enough. Yeah.
You saw a red mana in the deck, and like the standard natural order deck has burn spells, and they're not going anywhere, basically. So it might be one of those things where Confidant just increases the number of interactive cards Jesse has against him.
According to one of the judges who's sitting there, he said that Chain of Vapor, Echoing Truth, and Thoughtseize looked like what was brought in, but it's not totally clear. I mean, he wasn't totally certain on that. Echoing Truth seems like a weird one in particular, Chain of Vapor. I don't know if he's worried about permanent-based threats being a problem, or...
Well, I don't like Chain of Vapor at all. Chain of Vapor gets misstepped, so that's a real big strike against Chain of Vapor.
Yeah, I think definitely Thoughtseize is the way to go. Maybe Confidants, like maybe not. Depends on what you think he is.
Yeah, I personally wouldn't, and it's a definite no once I know Jesse's list.
Right.
So.
It looks like Jesse's considering his hand and he's going back. 6 cards for Jesse Hampton. And now, how about GCB?
I'm sure I'll decide like right before Jesse draws his hand.
that sounds like a happy face.
Well, you say he's stoic. It looks like he's thinking.
Oh, and he's keeping.
Yeah. See?
Stoic face.
It looked like he was in the tank on deciding whether or not to keep.
Yeah. Perhaps a tank. An excruciating tank, but a tank nonetheless. And yeah, GCB, like I said, doesn't have a lot of Storm experience from what my understanding. I talked to him about it, and seems like he being very meticulous about his play, which makes sense.
Yeah. As it turns out, you don't necessarily need deck experience, but he has Magic experience.
Yeah, I mean, GCB
he's still playing Magic the Gathering, so yeah, he's still more than competent with whatever deck he would be able to play.
Right. I mean, GCB's played for 11, 12, some insane amount of years.
He has a 4-digit GCI number.
And
he's been playing tournaments all the time. Like, mine's like I have a high GCI, mine's 8 digits. On top of that, well, I guess I played for like 4 or 5 years before.
Oh wow.
I knew there were Magic tournaments, so I was a bony rhino guy. I had 4/5 for 7. That was like my best card for a while.
So looks like GCB goes Island Preordain. Jesse only has Wasteland on the first turn. It looks like there are 4 Lotus Petals in Gabe's hand.
Is that what that means? Oh my god.
Yeah, 4 Lotus Petals in Gabe's hand.
That would be crazy. That's a hand.
What does that even mean?
Yeah, I see a Lotus Petal. That means like an active spell, and we might see the game end right here. Like at any point, if we know Gabe's content, the contents of Gabe's hand, the game could just end on the spot because of 4 Lotus Petal. Oh wow! Looks like Jesse kept a 1-lander.
And it looks so he played Preordained, Cabal Ritual, and Grim Tutor were there. He left the Ritual but shipped the Tutor.
So that means he needs a little bit more. He's got his Tutor.
Or no, he drew his Tutor. He left the Tutor on top and then left the Ritual on top. So he has Grim Tutor.
Oh, okay. So it looks like he needed the Grim Tutor. So like.
So I mean, maybe can go for it this turn.
There's a Grim Tutor in Gabe's hand right there.
Yeah.
Right on the stop.
I'm pretty sure he got it. So
he's got the capability. However, I see a force in Jesse's hand. If you're Gabe, you absolutely know that Jesse has a force. He kept a 1-land Wasteland hand.
Right. And I think
what does that mean? It's not like he's on 4 cards. He's on 6.
Exactly. I think a lot of people just will be like, oh well, he's blood in the water. Let's go for it. But when you keep a hand like that, that means that they kept reasonable cards in their hand. They would just keep 6 for no reason, right?
Yeah.
And Jesse is at least reasonable.
Absolutely.
Player.
You need to duress him at least a couple times. Alternatively, if Gabe was just like a complete master, had both Grim Tutor and Infernal Tutor, he could just bait out both spells.
Oh wow, that would be incredible. So
it's probably gonna have the mana. I saw Cabal Ritual, but I can't imagine Gabe like. I don't know if he wants to wait on a duress. If he has that line of play, I think he takes it.
I mean, it seems like he's in the driver's seat right now if his opponent is stuck on 1 land, which is Jesse found his 2nd land. A couple people on Twitter were asking about stifling storm copies, and if you missed Adam talking about it earlier, basically it's not relevant enough because by the time they're going off, they're going to be able to deal with, they're going to be able to deal so much damage, they'll be able to duress you. It's not going to make a difference.
Absolutely. Like for example, in the previous game, had Jesse had a mana up, Gabe would go for Ad Nauseam.
Right.
And kill him that way. There's a Thoughtseize.
All right, so Gabe found his Thoughtseize.
Oh wow, this is actually big that Jesse drew a land. He's got a Brainstorm.
Oh my.
So this is actually one of the best. He's got 2 different pictures of Brainstorm. That is insane. Anyway, so he's going to use one of his mismatched copies of Brainstorm to hide his Force of Will from the Thoughtseize here.
Right. But then Gabe could just kill him, right?
Jesse doesn't know that.
Okay.
Oh wow, so he's just going to show the hand.
All right, he's like, do we think I've got Force on top of my deck?
Exactly. Wow.
Let's play this game. So I think Gabe.
The other thing you could do is he might consider stifling the Scalding Tarn, hoping Gabe doesn't have a black source.
Right. Which would be death for Jesse Hampton, likely.
Yeah. Well, as it turns out, Gabe at one point had 4
Lotus Petals.
Lotus Petals in his hand. So.
Yeah. So I think Gabe will take the Force here, and then it's up to Gabe about the Brainstorms. Like, does he think there's going to be a Force on top of his deck? Do you go for it?
Yeah, I mean, you clearly go for it. Like,
it's what Magic's all about, right?
Well, what are you gonna do? Try and make him discard all of the Brainstorms?
No, it's not gonna happen. Like, he's gonna draw more
It's clearly gonna.
eventually.
Yeah.
All right.
Interesting play by Jesse Hampton. These all about like a lot of times in these Storm matchups on both sides, you have to play like for the like. Type play gives you like a 3% to 5%, not gonna do the math, but it gives you a very small amount of percentage points. Like this is Jesse's play. He's gonna give himself, because if he brainstorms and like even if he hits or whatever, if he hits a Force, he'll keep both in his hand,
Right.
and Gabe will see them both. Make him discard 1 and then wait on another discard spell.
Right. This way, it's basically a risk. Like,
This way, and then he's basically offering Gabe like, and then if you miss, then the coast is clear and you're 100% dead.
Right.
This way, Gabe's gonna go for it. Spend all his cards for, I don't know the math, like a 90% chance to win.
Well, there are 3 Forces in Jesse's deck and probably
Like
50-ish cards.
Yeah, I mean, I'm no.
Yeah, can't do mathematician either.
Yeah, thanks for that update.
Yeah. right, Dark Ritual, and so it begins. Now,
Okay, now
you misstep, right?
Yeah,
You
now you brainstorm.
Yeah, you brainstorm right here. You gotta find misstep, and even though I don't think it's actually that good against Jesse's hand.
Okay, so he's not going to.
Not going to. He's all in on Force the Will.
Oh, one thing I should mention, like in sideboarding, the Crypts and the Relic could take him off threshold for Cabal Ritual.
That's true. Relic might not be the worst over Fire Ice.
Well, Fire Ice is blue. Also, can kill Bobs potentially.
That's true.
Maybe Lavamancers. Maybe you want Fire Ice and Lava over Lavamancer.
So Gabe casts Grim Tutor. Jesse reads it.
It's like, this is the worst demonic tutor ever.
the portal, it's like $200 or something now. So
yeah, it's from like the starter set, isn't it?
From starter set, and it's almost impossible to find. So
yeah.
A little hard to get card, but for basically what it does, for BB1, it's a sorcery. You get any card you want, and you lose 3 life.
Right. You pay 3 life for the ability to save a mana off Diabolic Tutor.
Right. Pay 3 life and, $200.
Yeah. And then the starter set, this is like back before they had like event decks.
Right.
Or even pre-con decks. They would have these like starter sets.
Alright, so Lotus Petal. Ad nauseum from hand, okay.
Well, he's already resolved his tutor, so that's probably what he got.
Yeah. Must not have had 4 Lotus Petals in it. I think the judge might have misinformed us slightly.
No, Brainstorm.
Oh, Brainstorm, sure. Put some back. Yep, alright, that's fair. Well, we have 2 Lotus Petals at least. Alright, so ad nauseum time. And that means the petals are, I guess he shuffled, so not on top of his library, but they're in his library. Alright, so Jesse's letting,
What?
Whoa, you just let that resolve? Uh-oh.
That was not a...
This should be game over unless GCB gets really unlucky.
Yeah.
Storm 7 currently. Duress. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. GCB at 3 life after flipping all those.
Are you sure that they're not... He wasn't at 12 life naturally before. Oh, because he has... Yeah, he might have been because he has a Thoughtseize.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So this is actually kind of big game because...
So now he's at 2.
Now he's at 2. And you can't flip Infernal Tutor anymore. You can't... You have to... He has to stop here.
Yeah, I think you have to stop here. Like, you have a lot of cards in your hand. Maybe... I think you might still be able to win this turn if you hit the right cards on Preordained Ponder.
Alternatively, you're very live to win next turn.
Right. And I think that's fine in this position.
Yeah.
Like, you give Jesse a little bit of brainstorming.
Unless he gets fired.
Oh, that would be terrible.
I mean, Jesse has a fire in his hand. I'm pretty sure, right? When he got Thoughtseize, or was it was Duress, right? Or Thoughtseize?
All right, they're counting up the damage real fast.
Oh, so if he's at 2, he might be dead.
I don't think he had the Fire Ice.
Okay.
I think that was last game.
You might be right. I might be mixing my games.
Nope. Oh no, he does have it.
Yep.
So that's just lethal.
If he's at 2,
he can just crack his fetch land and fire him.
Yes.
Oh, if Jesse realizes it.
I can't imagine him not realizing it.
Oh yeah, here we go. Crack.
Whoopsies.
Could not find his land fast enough.
You're fired.
I wonder if GCB realized it.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Fire you. Alright, yeah, it's like, yeah, figured that one out. GCB's face. Perfect time to go back to this cam.
Yeah.
Whoops.
So maybe next game I'll stop at 3 life.
Wow. That looked really good for GCB there, but going down to 2, Fatal Air, and it's not even just from not thinking about what you're doing with Storm, but just forgetting about that interaction with Fire Ice.
I forgot about it until it was at 2.
Yeah. So you're just so far in the tank that... let's see. So going to sideboards, what changes? Anything they want to change for game 3? Do you think that if Dark Offering came in, it's definitely out now, right?
Yeah, you saw fire. Yeah, so it's definitely not in. Like as I'm thinking about it for Jesse, I would almost 100% take out the Grim Lavamancers. I think you have enough. Nothing. It's not blue. Fire Ice is just almost strictly better.
It's going to deal as much damage, and
Yeah.
you can tap thing, draw a card, pitches the Force of Will.
Yeah.
So maybe you bring a couple relics or something like that.
So you like I'd resideboard. This is how I'd reside. Take out 4 Lava Mancers.
Okay.
1 Explosives, 1 Collar. So that's 6 cards for 4 Red Elemental Blast, 1 Relic of Progenitus, and then we have one card that we still have to keep in. So that's not what like. I actually don't like how. I mean, obviously Storm's not a matchup you prepare for, but like that's. If this would happen in a format with like 3 decks, this would be bad sideboarding.
Right.
He just happens to have 6 cards he wants to take out and 5 he's willing to bring in. So he probably just has to keep in one of the Lava Mancers.
Which, I mean, it's not like
I said,
unbelievably awful, but
thought it'd be better than some of the other options. But like I think seeing Fire Ice that game, like the 2 damage can matter. Absolutely, it's a blue card to force. It's a it cycles when we're looking for stuff.
Right.
And the way Jesse's playing is he's gonna play to the top of his deck. We've
we
absolutely
discovered
seen that.
Yeah. That game was pretty unbelievable. I thought GCB was pretty much in the clear, and then
Well, if you think about it, like Jesse was just like, well, I'm not gonna brainstorm for a Miracle Force of Will. You have 10 life, because he was on 12.
right.
He's like, you have 10 life, and he's like, and the thing is, Gabe didn't realize that he had 12 life. He thought he had 12, not 10.
Right, which is pretty incredible because I think Jesse had to think pretty far ahead to make that play. Like, we weren't even talking about that.
Yeah,
it wasn't
exactly.
even in our heads. We're like,
Exactly.
Fire Ice, that's a nice dead
excellent
card,
play,
buddy.
yeah.
But yeah, he was thinking just way ahead. Good work by Jesse Hampton. So the players are grabbing their openers now. Pretty quick mulligan for Gabe Carleton Barnes there.
The fastest.
And he'll be going down to 6 this game. And Jesse's still thinking about his hand. All right.
Looks like he's keeping.
Nodded his head.
Not his head and didn't shuffle.
Seems likely. So on 6 cards, things are gonna get a little more tricky for Gabe because every card in Storm is so relevant when you're trying to pierce together.
Oh, yeah,
like
absolutely.
perfect hands.
Sometimes you like, if you're on the play, sometimes you'll just sit there and say draw go, like for a couple turns. If your hand is bad against these times of like, you have the time.
Right. Yeah, you have the time, and you're trying to craft your hand. You'll see what happens. Of course, Jesse, if he has Vendalion Clear or something like that, it'll certainly be an
Vendalion
issue.
Click throws a wrench into those plans.
Yeah.
So does Grim Lava Mancer even.
I played Team America at the GP, which is a gigantic mistake. Don't ever play that deck. But like Vendalion Click, when I was playing against Storm, Vendalion Click is just my best card. You put it down on turn 3 or 4, whatever. Like you strip their hand, you put a quick clock on them.
I basically played Team America today. Only I have Stoneforge instead of Time of Life, and then I had no Vendalion Click. So yeah, probably pretty much a worse version of the deck you just told me to play, never to play. So
don't play some cards. Definitely play Vendalion Click. That card is sweet.
Same matchup. I don't think the matchup.
Conley Woods just walked by. He lost the same matchup again, dropping to 2 losses on the day. GCB leads on Preordain.
the spell snare in Jesse's hand, and
I guess the Preordain got missed.
it did. That's the way to do it.
Under double Fire Ice in Jesse's hand.
It's like it was good last game.
Gotta be good this one. I think he's got the days too, Singleton days.
Oh, he's thinking about dazing here, actually.
I think that's totally reasonable.
Absolutely.
If you're still on the counter cantrip plan. Oh, or not.
He wasn't thinking about it. Gabe was thinking about whether or not he wanted to keep.
Oh, fair enough.
Because he saw his card, like, as soon as something happened, the first thing that happened was Gabe just, like, drew a card. So Gabe had already looked at the top 3.
Yeah, I saw that too. And looks like he's cracked Scalding Tarn. And we're going for Ponder. I think I would still daze this, but maybe not. See what
I don't
Jesse
know,
does.
like, it's really enough. Daze gets so, like, if Gabe's going to try and sculpt a hand, it doesn't seem like Days is going to be useful. So, like, if Gabe's spending the first couple turns pondering, I think Gabe's going to try and go for a quick kill again.
Really? Okay. Yeah. Just try and sculpt the hand and go
Unless
for it.
his hand's terrible. Well, if not, like, this is what I learned playing Pyromancer's Ascension. You actually don't want to... Oh, there's a Crypt. So I bet you... I wonder what he didn't bring in. We didn't have him bringing in Crypts. We haven't seen a Red Elemental Blast.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like that's a card you'd bring in, but maybe not. I mean, if he doesn't want to counter the cantrip.
If he's not willing to counter cantrips, why bring it in?
Yeah.
So.
If he thinks cutting off Cabal Ritual is better, I mean,
sure.
I could totally see that line of play.
I mean, these are... Basically, we're just looking for, like, remotely live cards.
All right, there's a Duress from Gabe Carleton Barnes.
Here, fire.
And Gabe's writing down the fire ices this time. Not going to make the same mistake twice.
I think one of them's going to get cycled.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I can't imagine any other line but discard your Spell Snare, play around Days the rest of the game.
Yeah, pretty much. Yep, discard Spell Snare, play around Days, and then Jesse's pretty much just going to cycle that.
Yeah, he's got to. There's no way he can.
Having to is not, unless he's like feeling spicy. He's like, fire you. Put you on 14. Oh, man. But yeah.
The dreaded split sleeve.
Oh, man. Sucks. Especially when they sell sleeves in like 80 now, right? Like,
yeah.
You have 5 chances. Mess up. So he re-sleeves that card. Tormod's Crypt is interesting. Do you think Relic or Crypt is better in this matchup?
Relic, not close.
Yeah, because it cantrips, right?
You can't sit there and play a bunch of Crypts and barely interactive cards because Crypt interacts with like half of a card.
Right.
You know what I mean? It denies Gabe 2 mana.
Let's see. All right, so there's the ice on the island. Ice,
baby. Oh, there's a Red Elemental Blast. He's got everything. Maybe he brought in, when I say he took out all the Lavamancers.
Yeah.
He might have brought in that one Crypt or whatever.
Huh. Yeah, maybe just Miser's Crypt and he found it. I guess not the greatest Miser, but
yeah.
I think GCB just drew a Chain of Vapor though. Uh-oh. We were talking about we don't think that one's so good. I don't know why we would be Chain of Vaporing in this matchup unless there's like a Chalice or something.
And yeah, if you're Gabe, you have to think like, why would they need hate cards? Ooh, baby.
Trinket Mage. No, Adam Prozac is excited. I think top probably.
Unless he has a Stifle, then you get the Dreadnought. But yeah, probably top.
How do you feel about playing a Chalice in this kind of deck? There's no Chalice in the deck currently.
You have a million counter spells. You have a favorable matchup.
And
Storm's not a big part of the meta game.
And it just shuts off a lot of your spells too, right?
Yeah.
If you put it on 1, yeah. All right.
I'm pretty sure you just put it on 0 most of the time. Like that's what I do when if I had a Chalice on my deck, I would 0 it right there.
Cuts off LED, cuts off Lotus Petal.
Yeah.
Couple things.
And by cutting off that, you cut off a lot of Infernal Tutor lines of play.
So top comes down for Jesse Hampton. Now the game is slowly crunching in Jesse's favor. If Gabe wins, he's going to have to sculpt just the right hand, and it's going to be a hard-fought victory.
He's got to do it quickly because Trinket Mage is doing work.
Yeah. And chipping away at life total is very relevant when you're counting on ad nauseum.
Absolutely. You can't. Gabe doesn't have 10 turns now.
Right. He has... Like, you might think, 2 damage a turn, but ad nauseum, you need, really
that's like
8
3
life.
cards.
Yeah, exactly. All right, down comes Flooded Strand for Jesse.
One thing that doesn't come up very often, but could be relevant here, is a direct Infernal Tutor chain. Right,
so you just play Infernal Tutor, get like a Dark Ritual or something like that, or?
And this would be the way that Gabe could win in 8 turns or like 7 turns now. You sculpt 7 perfect cards, and then you play them all in the same turn for 7 or 8 storm, and then you have to duress them, but then your last Infernal Tutor, last card has to be Infernal Tutor, and it gets an additional Infernal Tutors, and then that gives you the necessary storm count. Also, Jesse looks like he's at 15. If that's accurate?
Looks about right.
We misstepped on turn 1, and we've cracked 3 fetch lands, so we don't even need to Infernal Tutor for Infernal Tutor more than once, or even 0 if the last card we draw is a spell.
Yeah, no, that's really some great insight on the deck. I think a lot of players might miss that and be like, oh, how am I going to win this game? But okay,
oh, wow, he's just going for it now? So that means if he's going for it now, he's probably going to... He might have 8 cards in his hand. Yeah. So there's that. He just didn't want to discard, so he cast his Lotus Petal.
Although, to be fair, if Gabe went for it now, I think he might be able to win. But he doesn't
He
know
has
that.
no idea.
Yeah, I mean,
he doesn't have a
no
discard
idea.
spell, you know.
Yeah, he just passes.
And if you're Jesse, you float Force of Will or Spell Snare on the top of your deck.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's hard to beat Force and stuff when there's a top abound.
Yes.
Gabe draws
I've won games against Storm in a variety of ways, and that's the easiest when they're almost drawing dead to it.
What if you're Gabe? Do you think you just have to go for it, or?
I think at this point you're on a manual kill.
Okay.
Which is basically waiting on the perfect hand, including like some cantrips or whatever would be nice, because that'll jack up your storm count.
Right.
And he might just have to like do it without a tutor. Like if he ever has to like play an LED in a Infernal Tutor, he might be dead. But if he can like cast enough if he can cast 7 spells, because he's probably gonna have to be 8 force.
Right.
Jesse's on 14, so he probably needs 8 spells. Or even better, if he like duresses and they get misstepped, even for like 2 life, that's well for 2 life it'd be like +2 because the misstep would count as a spell.
Right.
But I think Jesse has enough lands to see around that play.
Yeah.
Like a cantrip might get Pyroblast. Like Gabe needs to draw his tendrils manually now.
Well, he has 2 more in the sideboard. I wonder if he brought those in.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, he's got 2 sideboard tendrils wagon.
Oh wow! So
if
I wonder if that's part of the primer.
Yeah.
Ari actually sent me the primer, but I won't read it on air. Otherwise, he would probably never win a match again. So we can't let that happen.
Yeah. That's
Chain on the top. Okay, that gets a red.
And that's probably on Jesse's end step. So that would take away the floating force.
Right.
Thing.
So that's it. Really
and now that Jesse blasted it, that means there's a force on top of his deck, or at least a spell snare.
Thoughtseize. I think Jesse has double misstep, so he might misstep it here.
So no, that wasn't on. Okay, wow. So that was not on. Gabe main phased his Chain of Vapor.
Yeah. To see if he could go off this turn.
Well, there's already 3 spells. Storm counts at 3.
All right, Thoughtseize resolves. Or maybe not. I thought he moved his life total.
Yeah, same.
I think you probably tap 1 misstep, right?
Now that I see the tendrils, one thing that makes sense in the manual kill version is Chain of Vaporing your own artifacts.
Oh, sure, to build up your storm, yeah.
It absolutely generates a bunch of storm. Not against misstep, or in this case, red elemental blast.
All right, so now storm is at 4 because of the misstep, right?
Okay, so you got misstepped.
All right, so that's time in the round. So tight 3 games between these 3 players.
So, Gabe, if I were Gabe, I would not pay any more life.
Because you can't die to that Trinket Maze in turns, right?
Right, he needs a fire. Okay, so did Gabe pass the turn, or
I think Gabe passed the turn. I think Gabe decided he's just going to play the let's try and make it a draw game.
Yeah. So this is turn 1.
Okay. Fetch land. So now Jesse's digging for another Trinket Mage or something.
Or a Vendilion Click, a fire.
I already spent 2 fires this game, right? Or did he brainstorm one of them back?
It looks like 2 are in I think the bottom left. There's the 2 ices right there.
Okay. Alright, so it looks like Gabe drew a Lotus Petal. Turn 2 of extra turns now.
Okay, he's got an LED, a couple Lotus Petals, a Cabal Ritual, an Infernal Tutor.
I mean, if you're gonna go into turns, you still just go for it at some point, right? And then you just.
As long as you don't have to pay life.
Yeah, as long as you
Gabe
don't pay
should
life.
not Thoughtseize.
Right.
So it can this is turn 2.
It's turn 2.
So Gabe gets this turn and turn 4.
Maybe you do it on turn 4 then.
I think he runs it on turn 4 as long as you don't have to spend life.
Right.
As long as Grim Tutor and Thoughtseize aren't involved.
And also,
unless you see that the coast is clear for them.
Right. I mean, the other thing on turn 4 is you'll know if he like drew another Trinket Mage or something, right? And it has the ability to kill you that way.
Yeah.
So that way you know
he'll know that or Lavamancer or Dreadnought. But I can't see Jesse having the the Lavamancer.
Yeah.
thing.
If he has Crypts, I doubt he's Lavamancer.
Yeah.
Interesting. So. This is a game we seldom see. Like, let's figure out how to play the extra turns properly game. We know, like,
exactly.
It's almost never talked about, like, how to do this right. And in a combo deck, it's especially interesting. Like, when do you go off? When do you not go off? What matters? Do you play for the draw? Do you play for the win?
Right. One of the reasons I've always liked for example, Combo Elves, not a deck I have experience with, but I always tell people, put a kill in your deck. Sometimes you have to go off on turn 4 of extra turns.
Yeah, definitely. And your kill can't be Emrakul always either.
Well, if you go off on turn 4, you can. If you get turn 5, then
sure.
it's fine. But if you, but I remember way back in the day where Zvi would play Turboland, I'd watch him take all 5 of the extra turns and just still not win because. All right, Brainstorm here.
All right, Brainstorm happens. Sauce.
Is it me, or is I always feel like Jesse just has a handful of Elish Noins.
Yeah, same. I feel exactly the same. Okay. So, looks like I think you're a force there. Let's see. Gets an island.
Jesse's digging for a way to kill him.
Yep.
Basically.
He's not interested in the draw for clear reasons.
And I think he just drew his force. Like, stop floating it with the top. I'm guessing that's what's going on. And then he's digging with top, shuffling.
I see a Reb there. I think maybe there was another force or a Brainstorm, one of the two. All right, so Gabe's going to be pretty hard pressed to go off. But Jesse draws his card.
Oh, that's a Trinket Mage. So that's basically what we're looking for.
All right, so now Gabe will have to go off on his turn.
Correct. This game will not end in a draw.
Unless he Chain of Vapors one of the Trinket Mages. Echo and Truth or Trinket Mages?
All right, this game might still end in a draw.
All right, he's going to crack the top.
Because he's probably going to go search for it.
Now he's got double force.
Yeah, so Jesse is huge favorite.
Yeah, Gabe would have to have just the perfect hand.
Gabe needs to draw his tendrils naturally.
Yep. Natural tendrils. Or if he can draw an Echoing Truth and manage to like set up the storm, he goes double force, he goes Echoing Truth, he can draw the game potentially too. That's maybe the other thing.
I think if you what happens if Gabe just like Echoing Truth your Trinket Mages? Does Jesse force it?
That's an interesting question. I think you probably force it. It kind of sucks, but I mean, you want to win this game, so.
Draws are pretty bad.
Yeah.
As I found out yesterday.
Yeah. Ninth place Adam Prozac telling you kids, don't draw, don't play and draw.
All right, let's see. I don't think Gabe's got this. He's got to resolve some. He's got like mana and one tutor.
Yeah, I don't think Gabe's got this.
And it's an Infernal Tutor, so like the thing that sucks about Infernal Tutor is like once you cast it, you're all in.
Right.
You got to be Hellbent, and if you're not Hellbent, like you're gonna get a terrible card. Oh wow! Don't misstep this.
Oh.
No, get real, dude.
It's like you're talking right to him.
Yeah.
Use the force.
Literally.
Yeah, exactly. So true in every way possible.
No, use the force of will.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
All right, resolves.
I mean, he might as well just have a sign above his head that says, I have mental misstep.
All right. So then he's going to crypt in response to the Cabal Ritual to make sure that no Storm Ebb is there. Or no Threshold, rather. So now Gabe has 4 black mana.
Where's I think he's just going through the motions, to be honest. Otherwise, he'd bust out the mana symbols. I'm disappointed.
Oh, I didn't say that. Infernal Tutor, and there's no way that's resolving.
Yeah.
Alright, and he shows him the Force of Wills, and that's that.
Still had all of these.
His hand was 4 Lotus Petals, 2
He
life
just drew all
items.
mana
Yeah.
at the end. Like I think Gabe wins that game if he draws one of his natural tendrils.
Yeah, for sure. I wonder if he boarded in his other 2.
Yeah.
That might have been it. Really great game, though. That was an awesome match.
Yeah, match well worth watching.
Yeah, back in the booth, I'm Gavin Verhey here with
I'm Adam Prozac.
the Adam Prozac. That was a really great match by GCB and Jesse. Really interesting.
Yeah, I always love these types of matchups in Legacy. You see less of them with Mental Misstep in the, because it's far more of an uphill battle for Gabe now that Mental Misstep's in the picture, and
Yeah.
every deck has like 8 free counter spells.
Yeah, definitely. It's really interesting. So, yeah, this legacy dance between the decks. Like, does he have it? Does he not? When do you go for it? When do you not? And for us, we can see it. We'd be like, oh, well, if he goes for it here, he's going to win.
Right.
But he doesn't know that. So,
Yeah.
gotta shift the deck list back.
Get out of here.
Get out of here. So that was round 5, right?
4.
Round 4. Okay. Heading to round 5 next.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I'm excited too. Tons of cool stuff out there. So I think they're in extra turns. Was that maybe the last match?
Let's take a look around. Like most of the matchups, there's probably a couple stragglers. Like there's always somebody playing like